All right, and we're back for round 2. Here is our second example of using the discriminant to determine the number of roots and to understand a quadratic a little bit better. So now let's consider f of x equals x squared plus 4x plus 4. So let's take a moment and calculate the discriminant for this particular quadratic. So for this quadratic, a is 1, b is 4, and c is 4. So b squared would be 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 4. So when I simplify this, I have 4 squared, which is 16. 4 times 1 times 4 is 16. So I have 16 minus 16, which is 0. So the value of my discriminant is 0. Now, if you refer back to your interactive notebook page stuff, you would realize and recall that a discriminant of 0 is indicating to us that this parabola should end up having one root or one solution or one x-intercept. So just as in our previous example, we can confirm this two different ways. We can confirm this by looking at a graph of this function in Desmos, and we can also determine it by using the quadratic formula. So let's start with the more complex of those two methods first, which would be to use the quadratic formula. So x equals opposite b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So that's what that looks like. Notice that b squared minus 4ac, I've already done that calculation when I was looking at my discriminant. So there's no need to do it a second time. Just do the calculation and use what you got as the discriminant. You can plug it right on in there. So the square root of 0 is just 0. So if I want to kind of clean this up, it's negative 4 plus or minus 0 over 2 times 1, which is 2. So now I can split this into the two possibilities. So I have x equals negative 4 plus 0 divided by 2. And I have x equals negative 4 minus 0 divided by 2. It doesn't matter whether I'm adding 0 or subtracting 0. It's not going to have any impact whatsoever on that negative 4. So I have negative 4 divided by 2 gives me negative 2, and negative 4 divided by 2 gives me negative 2. These are not different roots. This is just telling us that my graph, I would expect the graph of this parabola to cross the x-axis at x equals negative 2. So now let's take a second and look at this graph in Desmos and confirm how awesome and amazing we are. Let's take it a second and look. So here's a graph of what this function would look like. Notice our discriminant equaled 0. A discriminant equaling 0 tells us that our parabola is going to have exactly one root. And look, it does. It touches the x-axis in exactly one place at negative 2, 0. And that is the exact coordinate that we expected to get using our quadratic formula. Hope this helps. Next up, example number 3.